I was only joking. That's Rod Stewart. Back in a moment with the Non-Stops. This is BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 3 o'clock. This is Harvey Cook. King Charles has said he'll follow the shining example of his late mother and has pledged to seek the welfare of all Northern Ireland's people. He's making his first visit since becoming monarch, meeting politicians and religious leaders. A service of reflection for the life of Queen Elizabeth is now getting underway at St Anne's Cathedral in Belfast. The Irish Foreign Affairs Minister Simon Coveney is among the politicians attending the service.
Queen Elizabeth II's impact on Ireland was a hugely positive one, and her son, now King Charles III, I expect that he will want to see his role being part of protecting and building and strengthening the relationship between Britain and Ireland, given the complexity of our past.
The queue to see the Queen's coffin in Edinburgh has now closed. Her body will be moved later this evening when it starts its journey to London. She will then lie in state for 4 days, during which members of the public will be able to pay their respects. Delroy Morrison is already in the queue to see her coffin at Westminster Hall.
I don't mind a few hours of discomfort after she spent 70 years, looking after us and keeping to the promise that she made. I didn't bring a blanket or anything like that, but I've got a chair, which is very important. I've got the gown that I wear to all of the Jubilees, so I'll put that on tomorrow.
More migrants have crossed the English Channel to the UK so far this year than in the whole of 2021. The Ministry of Defence said 601 people made the dangerous journey yesterday. It brings the total for this year to 28,592. An MP who got a train from London to Glasgow, knowing she had COVID-19, has been ordered to do 270 hours of community service. Margaret Ferrier had been a member of the SNP, but the whip was consequently removed. Katrina Renton reports from Glasgow Sheriff Court.
On Saturday, the 26th of September 2020, the MP said she had a slight cough and took a COVID test. At the time, the rules were to self-isolate while the results were processed. But on the Sunday, Margaret Ferrier went to church and then to a bar around 35 miles away from her home. The next day, she said she felt better and went to Westminster by train. She spoke in a debate that evening and dined with another MP. Shortly afterwards, her result came back positive and she got on the train back to Glasgow. Later in the week, the full story emerged and she apologised unreservedly amid calls for her to resign.
Britain's unemployment rate has hit its lowest level in nearly 50 years of 3.6%. But official figures covering the 3 months to July also show that wage increases are being outstripped by rising inflation. And Sainsbury's says it's raising pay for staff again and offering free food during shifts to help workers with the rising cost of living. Around 127,000 people will receive a 25p per hour increase from next month. But that's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 3.
Thanks, Harvey. And now, the Non-Stop Oldies.